students. So our next chapter from the chemistry part will be coal and petroleum. Students, we use so many substances and materials in our daily life, right? Among those, some will be naturally occurred and other will be made by human beings. So the substances which are made by we human beings using machines, tools and so on. So that kind of resources or substances will be called as man-made resources. So the substances which are artificially prepared. So these will be artificially prepared. The resources which are artificially prepared or which are prepared by we human beings, such kind of resources are called as man-made resources. Whereas there are some other resources which occur naturally from the nature. So that kind of resources are called as natural resources. So these can be obtained naturally from the nature. They are obtained naturally from the nature. Alright? So the substances which are prepared by human beings, they are called as man-made resources, or the resources which are prepared, which occur naturally from the nature, they are called as natural resources. And these natural resources, students, they are again classified into two types. One is inexhaustible resources and the other is exhaustible resources. Let us see what are these exhaustible and inexhaustible resources. First, inexhaustible resources. So the resources which are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are likely to be exhausted by human activities. So these are the resources which are present in unlimited quantity. This word is most important, students. So to define this term, inexhaustible resources, these are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not, okay, and are not likely to be exhausted. So they are not exhausted by human activities. Example, sunlight and air. So what are these inexhaustible resources? The resources which are present in unlimited quantity. That means if they will be present in so much of quantity that if we use for a long time also and for so many times also, they will get never end. So they are never ending resources. So they will be present in so much of quantity, they will never end. Such kind of inexhaustible resources are called inexhaustible resources. Example, sunlight and air. So try it once. Even the whole day if you sit in the sunlight, if you take that sunlight on your skin, so will that sunlight get vanished for the next day? No. Again the sunlight will be as usual, it will be same as it is. Even the air. So we can use so much of air. Even we are using so much of air. But still it's getting the same way how it was before. So it will never end. The resources which cannot be ended or which are never ending resources, they will be called as inexhaustible resources. For example, sunlight and air. They cannot get to their end. Okay. And the next one, exhaustible resources. It's the exact opposite of this inexhaustible resources. So what is this exhaustible resources? The resources which are present in limited quantity in nature and can be exhausted by human activities. So these are the exhaustible resources, are the resources which are present in limited quantity. So observe here, inexhaustible resources, they are unlimited. That means they don't have any limit. But whereas exhaustible, they are limited. They are present only in the some amount of into some quantity only. So they are limited, present in the limited quantity in nature, and they can be exhausted by human activities. So human activities in the sense if we human consume that. Okay. for our purpose, for our life processes. So there are some substances, if we use for it a long time also and in so much quantity also, they will never get end. Such kind are called inexhaustible. Whereas there are some also natural resources that if we use for our purpose, for our work, they will get end after certain use or after certain years. Such kind of resources are called exhaustible resources. Example, forest, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, natural gas. Okay, students? So these are the examples for exhaustible resources, isn't it? See, forest. Some several years ago, there were so many forests around the world, but because for the human needs, we human beings have destroyed so many forests. We have done deforestation to construct buildings, industries, companies, and so on. So now there are only some limited number of forests present in the world, right? Similarly, wildlife are nothing but the animals which will be present in the forest. Even now, best example, tigers. Several years back, there were so many tigers present in the world, but now only a few countable tigers are been dwelling. So even these wildlife, they are called as exhaustible resources. Minerals also. Next, coal, you know, petroleum, natural gas. All these are the substances which will be present in the limited quantity in the nature, and if we consume that, so after several years or after several time, it will get end. They will be present no more in the nature for the near future. Such kind of resources are called exhaustible resources. So now you have got a clear idea regarding the differences between inexhaustible and exhaustible resources. So from these exhaustible resources, students, now we will deep study in about this natural gas. Okay. So students, now let us learn about the natural gas. So natural gas is a fossil fuel. This is usually formed in the earth along with the petroleum. So its main constituent is methane and also contains small quantities of ethane and propane. So natural gas is liquefied by applying high pressure and is called CNG, compressed natural gas. So CNG is used for power generation. It is used as a fuel for transport vehicles and it is less polluting. So it is a cleaner fuel. So what is this natural gas? Natural gas is a fossil fuel. So what do you mean by fossil? Students, you have already studied about the fossils in your previous lower primary classes. So once again, let us recall. What are fossils? Fossils are nothing but the dead and decaying remains of plants and animals which will be present deep inside the earth, and after thousands of years, that parts, dead and decayed parts of plants and animals will get converted into a thick liquid. They will get converted into liquefied form. That liquefied form is considered as fuel, and hence that fuel is obtained from the dead and decaying parts of the plants and animals. It is called as fossil fuels. Okay. So what are fossil fuels? The fuel which is obtained from the fossils. Now what are fossils? Fossils are nothing but the dead and decaying parts of the plants and animals which will be present deep inside the earth, and after several thousands of years, those dead and decayed parts will get converted into the liquid due to high pressure temperature present inside the earth. Okay. So this natural gas is also a fossil fuel, and this is usually formed in the earth along with the petroleum. So this will be present along with the petroleum. And what is this natural gas composed of? What does it contains? What is it is made up of? So its main constituents is methane, and it also contains small quantity of ethane and propane. So this natural gas, its main constituent, that means it is mainly made up of methane gas. Okay. So methane, what are these? Methane, ethane and propane. So just to keep in mind, remember that methane, ethane and propane, these are the organic compounds. Okay. So these are the organic compounds. So about further more details about methane, ethane and propane, you will study about this in your higher class, that means 9th and 10th. Okay. So this natural gas, its main constituent is methane, along with the small amount of ethane and propane will also be present. So together they will make a natural gas. So natural gas is liquefied. So this gas, natural gas, it can be converted into liquid form. But how? By applying high pressure. Okay. So natural gas, it can be converted into liquid form by applying high pressure, and that liquefied form of natural gas is called CNG. Okay. When it was gas, it will be called as only natural gas. But as we have converted that gas into the liquid form by applying high pressure, now that liquid will be called as CNG. What is this CNG? Compressed natural gas. Keep in mind, compressed natural gas. CNG is nothing but it's compressed natural gas, and it's the liquefied form of natural gas. Okay? So this CNG is used for power generation. So CNG is used for power generation. Power generation is nothing but it is used for the production of electricity, and it is used as fuel for transport vehicles as it is less polluting. Students, you have observed or you have heard also, and you have learnt also that several years back, very long back, we humans were using bullock carts and tongas, bicycles for transportation, right? But after some times we started using two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and we used petrol and diesel to run those vehicles, right? But nowadays we are using this CNG more oftenly. Why we are using now this CNG instead of petrol and diesel? Because it is less polluting when compared to petrol and diesel. The natural gas in the form of CNG, it is less polluting and it is a cleaner fuel. So hence we are using more CNG nowadays instead of petrol and diesel. More about the natural gases. So CNG, and this CNG, that is mean compressed natural gas. This CNG can be used directly for burning in homes and factories and can be supplied through pipes. So natural gas is used as starting material for the manufacture of chemicals and fertilizers. The reserves of natural gas in India are found in Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra and Krishna Godavari Delta. So this CNG, compressed natural gas, can be directly used for burning. Okay, so this natural gas can be liquefied, okay, under high pressure, and that it can be converted into CNG. That CNG can be directly used for burning in for homes also, and also for the factories also. So domestic use also we can do, and even the big industries also we can use this CNG. And it can be supplied through pipes also. So it is so facilitated that this gas in the form of CNG, it can also be supplied through the pipes also. Next, natural gas is used as starting material for the manufacture of chemicals and fertilizers. So this CNG is a natural gas. It is also used in the manufacture of certain chemicals and also certain fertilizers. Okay. So those were about some of the properties and uses of natural gases. Now this natural gas, the reserves of natural gas in India are founded. So India has a huge production of natural gas. It has a vast reserves in India. So there are certain places in India where we can see the production of natural gas, okay, and those places will be Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and Krishna and Godavari Delta. What is this Krishna and Godavari Delta? Krishna and Godavari, these are the two rivers, and delta is nothing but it's a land present along with the these two rivers. Okay, so these are the places where natural gas are found, and these are the places in India. So this is about the natural gas. One question, student. So can natural gas be prepared in laboratories? No, we cannot prepare natural gas or petroleum in the laboratories. Why? Because as in the starting we have said, so natural gas, it's a fossil fuels, and fossil means to form the formation of fossils. It will take thousands of years to form that fossil. Okay, so hence natural gas cannot be prepared in laboratory. It is a natural resource and also an exhaustible resources. Exhaustible resources means it will be depleted or it will get end if we use. So it will be present in the limited quantity. Okay students, so that's all about the natural gas. So in the next class we shall go for the further content. Thank you.